Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the session. Today, we're going to try to keep it fun, try to make it light. We're going to have some questions. I'm going to write out the questions or show you guys the questions. I want you all to attempt it first and see who's going to be able to come up with the answer, and then I'll show you how to do it if there's a need for that. And then toward the end, we will start some puzzles. I have a few puzzles that should keep things interesting. Most of the puzzles I've selected, you don't have to be in. It's not really geared to any specific grade, but the questions, the math questions are. So towards the end, you'll see some puzzles that I think there's one of them that is going to be geared more toward the higher grades. But for the most part, all the puzzles can be answered by any grade. It's just mostly for just to test how you think. Okay, let's wait for a minute or so for some more students or parents to show up, and then we'll kick it off. Thank you for joining the session. You're welcome. Please post any questions you may have. Today we're going to try something different. Being a Friday, I know it's been a hectic week. It's an emotional time for the country and for most other countries around the world. And so I'm going to try to see if we can keep it light today and make it more interesting for you all. So the approach I'm going to take is going to be mostly show you the questions, and then you, as the audience or as the viewers, you try to answer the questions. You can post your answer in the chat, and once I think enough time has passed, then I'll let you know who got the answer right and try to show you how to solve the questions. And one thing I want you let's be fair. So if the question says it's for 3rd to 5th graders, please let only 3rd to 5th graders work on it. If there are no 3rd to 5th graders, then we'll just go ahead and walk through it, just for those who may not know how to do it. And we're going to try about 2 to 3 minutes per question before we get the question solved. So let's see. Okay, we can get started. Looks like we have some viewers already. So we can get started with the questions we have on the screen. So the first question, we have 2 questions here. They are going to be mostly, so before we get started, most of the questions I have today are questions from the different topics that we've gone through throughout the week. So now students get a chance to show that they understood what we covered, and also an opportunity to ask questions. So let's go ahead and get started. We have matrix. We're going to use matrix method here to solve a multiplication and an addition problem. So if you're in 3rd to 5th grade, this question is for you. These two questions are for you, rather. These questions are for you. So go ahead and take a stab at it, and let's see. Remember, you can post your answer in the chat so that we have an idea of what you're thinking, and let's keep it fun. All right. I don't see anyone attempting it yet, or I guess people need some more time. So let's keep waiting. So someone is asking a question already. Can you please do a negative exponent problem? Okay, I'll take note of that. Once we get through this set of questions here, I'll be able to do a question that is not on the list of questions. So a negative exponent problem. All right. So do we have any answers to the questions on the screen yet? Okay, we have a few more seconds before I try it out. It's possible that there are no 3rd to 5th graders in the session right now. We're waiting on some answers. All right. Okay, the first person says 3,672. Okay. And then 904. Okay, let's try this out then. So we have give me a second. as 8,000. And then 20 multiplied by 3, that's going to give you 60. So 100 multiplied by 4, we have 400. 50 multiplied by 4, we have 200. And 3 multiplied by 4, we have 12. So all we're going to do now is add all these numbers together. So we have 2,000, we have 1,000, we have 400, 200, 60, and then 12. So what I like to do is I just like to make sure all of them have the same number of digits. So this is, so 0, we have just 2 here. Then we have 6 plus 1 here, we have 7. We have 4 plus 2, it's going to give me 6, and 2 plus 1, 3. So that's 3,672. That's for this one. So those who had 3672 are correct. Now let's get to 246. 246, that's going to be 200 plus 40 plus 6. And then 658 is going to give us 600 plus 50 plus 8. So now we're going to add each of these sets of numbers. We're going to add each of the columns together. So let's go ahead, and 200 plus 600 is 800. 40 plus 50 is 90. And then 8 plus 6 is 14. So now we add 800, 90, and 14. So we're going to replace all the missing spaces with 0 again. And so now we have 0 plus 4, we have 4. 9 plus 1, we have 10. So we're going to write a 0 here and bring a 1 up here. 1 plus 8, we have 9. So that is 904. So those who have 904 as the answer are correct. So there was a question. I know we said we're going to walk through questions that were previously prepared, but I want this to be useful to you. So a student is asking wants to know about negative exponent. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll get to the other questions later on. So I'm going to add up, let's look at negative exponents. So a negative exponent here in this case is, it's pretty simple. Let's assume that you have 6 to the power of negative 1. Okay, the rule, let me write the rule out here first. The rule states that if I have a base and I have a negative exponent, all I have to do is write a 1 as a numerator. I'm going to create a fraction, and then I'm going to write the exponent without the negative sign in the denominator. So that's all we're going to do with negative exponent. So 6 to the power of negative 1, I'm going to write a 1 in the numerator, and then I'm going to write a 6 to the power of 1 in the denominator. So that is 1 over 6. If I have 3 to the power of negative 5, I'm going to write a 1 in the numerator, and then I write the exponent in the denominator without the negative sign. That's really all there is with negative exponents. If you want, I can show you how to prove that, but maybe we can do that next week if this is still a problem you want us to address. So let's just try something here. What is going to be the value of 4 to the power of negative 2? Who's going to try that? 4 to the power of negative 2. Let's give about a minute so that we can go to other topics. Four to the power of negative 2. I hope the user that asked for this to be addressed is still in the session. 4 to the power of that is perfect. Okay, the user got it right. So that is going to be 1 over 4 to the power of 2, which is 1 over 4 multiplied by 4, which is 1 over 16. All right, that covers that. I hope that, okay, perfect. I hope that answers the question. So let's go to another set of questions. Okay, this we covered yesterday, so I want to see if everyone understood it. And I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to go to get the answer to this one. So Bradley lives 3 miles from his school. When he walks to school, it takes him 45 minutes to get to school. On Monday, Bradley departed for school at 7:20 a.m. When did he get to school? When did he get to school? When did Bradley get to school? Grades 5 to 7 students should be able to answer this one. If you're in grade 5, 6, or 7, this is your question. We have 1 more minute. One more minute. A few more seconds to go. Anybody have an answer? Okay, Anastasia, that's a good answer. Any other answers before we go ahead and show you how to do it? Oh, good. Wow, lots of good students today. That's good. So let's go ahead and show how it's done. So the student starts at 7:20 a.m. and it's gonna work for 45 minutes. So here's what's gonna happen. So what's gonna happen is 0 plus 5 is 5, 2 plus 4 is 6, and then we have 7 here. But here's the most important thing is, don't forget that this is hours, and then this is minutes. Okay, you can have, so when you have 65 minutes, you have to convert that to hours and minutes. So 65 minutes is the same as 1 hour and 5 minutes. So it's going to be 7 o'clock plus 1 hour and 5 minutes. So that's going to give you 8:05 a.m. So it's going to be 8:05 in the morning that this student gets to school. So I'm going to pick up another one. I want us to actually get to some puzzles. I think that will make things more interesting for you all. Let's try one last example, and this is going to be for high school students, actually from about 8th grade to Algebra 2. And this is multi-step equations. 7th grade pre-AP students will also be familiar with this. And so if you're in 7th grade all the way to Algebra 2, go ahead and let's try for 2 minutes. Two minutes. After this question, we're going to look at our puzzles. Multi-step equations. 1 more minute. Hope you guys are doing well with it. This type of question actually is relevant to students who are also going to be taking the SAT or the ACT or any other standardized exams in preparation for college. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I only have one answer so far, and we have to get moving with this one. So let's go ahead and solve it and see if the user is right. So we're going to distribute 2 into x minus 3. So we're going to have 2x minus 6. This is going to give us 5x plus 30. So now our goal is to isolate x. So let's see, what do we need to do? There's a bigger value of x on the right hand side. So I'm going to try to move the 2x over to this side and move the number over to the left hand side. So let's go ahead and first remove the 30. So we subtract 30 from this side. So we have to subtract 30 from here. So we have 2x minus 36 equal to 5x. And now we want to isolate the x. So we have an x on this side. So I'm just going to subtract it out and then subtract this from here as well. So negative 36 equal to 3x. And now we want to isolate x, so we divide by 3 because 3 is a multiplier here. And we also divide this by 3. So negative 12 equal to x. So that's your right answer. And I'm going to write a fraction question just so we can cover that. That's a topic that we covered a few times this week. So let's go ahead and I'm going to write something pretty simple. Let's see if you remember. 2 over 3 plus 3 over 4. That's the fraction question. Fraction question, I'm going to give you about a minute or so because I want us to actually get into the puzzles. This actually, anyone from about 5th grade to high school, I'm good with high school students trying this because I've seen instances where high school students have forgotten how to do this. So from 5th grade to high school, you're free to work on this one. Okay, 30 more seconds. 20 more seconds. All right, I'm going to give you 5 more seconds. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No answers? No one has an answer? All right. What I'm going to try to do every week is we're going to do something on fractions because fractions seems to be the one thing. Okay. Wow. Good try. Good try. So let's go ahead and solve this together. So your least common denominator is going to be 12. 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. That's your least common denominator. I'm going to rewrite 2/3 so that I have 12 as my denominator. So I'm going to have 2 over 3 multiply 3 by 4, multiply 2 by 4, plus for 4 I'm multiplying by 3, and multiply 3 also by 3. So I have 8 over 12 plus 9 over 12, and because my denominators are the same, I can add my numerators, and so 8 plus 9 is 17 over. So that's your answer, 17 over 12. Good try, good try. All right, let's get over to, for the puzzles, I'm going to make them extremely competitive, 1 minute each for each puzzle question. Okay, let's go to the first one. What is the missing letter in this puzzle? Missing letter in the puzzle. Okay, I have an answer already. Someone said F. Okay, about 20 more seconds. I see another answer. Okay, let's do it. So here's all that you have to think about here. So F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. So between the first and the second letters, we're skipping 2 letters. Between the second and the third, we're skipping 4 letters. Let's try the second one. A, B, C, D. So I'm skipping 2. E, F, G, H, I. I'm skipping 4. So let's look at the last one here. So you can see the trend. Between the first 2, I skip 2 letters. Between the next 2, I skip 4 letters. Let's look at the next one. G, H, I, J, skipping 2. K, L, M, N, O. So I skip 4. So this is going to be O. Very interesting. All right, so that's how you that's the puzzle there. That's really all we're doing with this puzzle. Let's look at another puzzle. Let's look at another puzzle. Okay. This is for all grades. Any grade can answer this one. 1 minute. One minute. After this one, we have 2 more puzzles, and then we'll call it a session. And but the next 2 puzzles should be quite interesting. Any answers? We're almost out of time. Okay, let's see. Thanks for participating. Actually, I really appreciate the fact that you guys are, participating and having a good time with this. Okay, let's look at it together. Time is up. 19. Okay, I like that answer. All right, let's see let's see who's right. So the first one, if you look at it, you have 3 plus 2 plus 3 again. This is going to give you 8. That's this answer here. Let's look at this one right here. You have 4 plus 3, then plus 4 again. It's going to give you 11. And then, so for this missing one here, we're going to have 5 plus 9 plus 5, which is going to give you 19. Another way you could have looked at this is multiply this by 2, add 2, multiply this by 2, add 3, multiply this by 2, add 9, and you get to your answer as well. Good job, good job. I see 2 people got them right. Let's look at the third one. Okay. Let's try a minute on this one. Let's try a minute here. This one requires some thinking. Think real hard. All right. Okay, saying 10. All right, let's try it. So the idea is we're going to count. This are supposed to be squares, but for the most part they're rectangles. So let's see how many four-sided shapes are in this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this big one, which makes it 5. All right, let's go over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now we have this large one here. We have 10. Okay, that makes 10. We have this one right here, makes 11. We have another one from here all the way down here, 12. We have these all the way down here, 13. We have this all the way here as well, 14. We have the first two here, 15. We have the whole length here, 16. Then we have across here, 17. And then we have this also, 18. We have this right here, 19. And then we have this right here, 20. We have this one here, 21. And then this right here, this one right here, 22. So there are 22 four-sided figures in this diagram. That's the trick here. 22 of them. So this is 22. Yeah, this was a tricky one. Even when I first saw an example of it, I was like, yeah, that's a good question. So I'm not too surprised that it was challenging. So the final one, let's go to the final one. This one is pretty simple. It says sequence. You just need to find out the missing number in the sequence. Okay, let's see. We have about 40 more seconds. It's pretty simple. Any answers so far? Okay, good try, good try, good try. I'm waiting for one more answer and then we can go ahead. We have like 20 seconds before we have to solve this together. Okay, so I have, all right, good answers here. Okay, so let's go ahead. I like the answers I'm seeing. So 3 to 8 is plus 5. 8 to 15 is plus 7. 15 to 24 is plus 9. 24 to 35 is plus 11. So the next number, you can see there's an increase of 2 every time. Your difference increases by 2, so it's going to increase by 2 again, plus 13. 35 plus 13 is 48. 48. So that's correct. Everyone who answered got this right. Okay, so that's really what I wanted us to kind of have a good time around today. We're going to have our next session on Monday, but I want you guys to send me any questions. Do you have any questions after today's session? Do you have any questions? And I want you to send some questions. You can actually respond to this video once it gets posted with your questions so that we can walk through, so I can prepare some examples that we can walk through on Monday. So Monday it's going to be from 1 to 2. So thank you for this week. I really appreciate you all giving your time to learning with me this week, and looking forward to next week when we'll learn again together. And send your questions. We're going to post the places where you can send questions to. You can email them, you can send them to this video, you can send them on Twitter. There are lots of different ways you can, and you can even send them to our numbers if you want. You can text your questions as well, and we'll be glad to help you out with those as well. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to learning with you all again on Monday. Have a great weekend and be blessed.